Good morning. Doing the video for SRT. We have three in the same family today, so we got Iggy Pup, Josie, and Fletcher. We'll be discussing each one of those. I decided to put them all in one video because it's interesting and putting the SRT together, that there can be differences, and that's kind of cool to put them into perspective together. Iggy Pup, we've been dealing with Cushing's syndrome, Cushing's issues. The SRT was mostly biofeedback, which is interesting because biofeedback is environmental. So the genetic condition was expressed as Cushing's disease as a compensating factor. Compensating factors is this quote from Dr. Hans Heinrich Reckewig. Back in the 40s, he stated about diseases that they are biologically purposeful. The biologically purposeful defense mechanisms against internal and external toxic influences, or a compensation mechanism for damage from those toxins. So SRT is looking at, well, what toxins, because if there's acute stress or chronic stress, the body's producing chemicals that can injure and cause problems and relates to each disease potential and disease diagnosis, or just symptoms in general. So in Iggy Pup's example right here, he didn't have any body stressors because we've been running tests for some time, because that was mostly feedback from the environment, which is common because his immune system is down-regulated because of his cortisone levels, and the herbs that have been prescribed for him, the Ophiophogon formula, has helped to manage that, as well as the SRT drops in keeping his body as much in balance as we can, keep it healing mechanism between positive and negative 20. We want to have his numbers running right in there. So each time we run these tests, we improve his odds that he's going to be able to compensate for one, but reduce ongoing toxic damage from having a disease condition. If we look at Josie more for maintenance, when we look at what I'm looking for, is there any chronics? And she did have some chronics in there we have to clear out. And chronics mean that we've been having some stressors for greater than 6 months. And there again, by clearing up those chronics, we reduce the risk of disease and try to keep the body, if it's biologically purposeful, then help the body to resolve that issue so it can go on and heal and restore back to normal function. Fletcher had some growths that we were concerned about, and some blood work changes specifically to the liver. So 3 takeaways from his analysis was body fluid elimination. So that kind of makes sense. If we're having liver issues, we're not getting out the negative fluids like we should, but also influences from what they call senescence, or instead of replacing skin cells with normal skin cells, it's replacing those skin cells with defective cells, which cause deposits or growths, that whether that's under the skin or on top of the skin. And so by helping his body elimination, we reduce the risk of further growths, because that's a compensating mechanism for toxic damage. So those growths will stay there unless we consider surgery, for example, to remove them. The immune system is also involved with that because of what they call apoptosis. Apoptosis is once the cell itself is defective, it should be able to flag the immune system to get rid of it, but unfortunately it takes that factor out, and this cell continues to function and turns into a growth. Okay. An organ weakness that came up was related to the liver, so we want to give liver support there as well. So one of the herbs consideration is liver happy, to help support the liver as a prescription herb, but also the SRT drops to restore balance as well. And going forward, reviewed the SRT videos are helpful, and because you get to hear me talking at the same time. It will formulate questions that you can shoot me an email on, but allows you to review the video multiple times. I will upload this with the code to YouTube, and I'll send that to your email. Thanks so much.